I got my pressure washer out and I am sick of fighting the hose. This is a 4200 PSI pressure washer. It's a pretty big pressure washer for a homeowner. However, I hate wrestling the hose. So the hose is really stiff. It always has a weird wind and I'm always wrestling it. And it's really not that big of a deal, but it's something that I'm going to address today. With a kit that I got on Amazon, and it actually came from Northern Tools. But I bought it on Amazon. Link to that is in the description below. So this is a DeWalt 4200 pressure washer. I really like this pressure washer. It is a very powerful pressure washer. Sometimes a little too powerful if you're not careful with it. I have cut tires with it, and obviously removed decals and stuff off ATVs and stuff on accident with it before. ATV tires tend to be very soft rubber, so those things will cut with this thing pretty easily. But anyway, this isn't really about this DeWalt pressure washer. This is about making a hose so that it's a lot easier to use. So here we go. What I'm going to do is mount this right back here. So it should be a fairly easy project, and hopefully the machine is rigid enough to hold it. It should be, but you never know. I originally was going to put it up front, but then I realized that it actually would probably tip over as I was trying to reel it. I would have to either add counterweight or do something funky. So back here is the better option, and I think this actually might work out pretty good back there. So let's get going on it. Okay, so this kit comes with hoses and a bunch of fittings and stuff. This is actually meant to retrofit one of their hot water washers, but we're going to use it. We're going to use it on this guy. So I'm going to offset it all the way over to this side so that I can still access these fittings. And then also on the, this is the cranking. Oop, I actually have this backwards. I'm going to mount it this way. This is the cranking side. It was irrelevant at that point, but we'll do it anyway. What I'm going to do is just line it up with this divot here in this corner, and that should be pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that, and that way I'm winding with my right hand on there, and it's kind of offset in that direction. Okay, so we'll put it right there. Now we'll just drill some holes. This comes with mounting bolts and everything as well. Okay, so this is 1/2 inch is what I ended up drilling those to. So now the fun part, where we actually mount this thing to it. All right, so this is the mounting. It's like a doubler plate, so that'll go on the bottom side. I'm just going to make sure that the holes all lined up. They did. Okay, there's a lock ring on that, so that's how that'll go. This is going to follow it, so the hose runs in there, screws into there, and that's how it, the hose that you hook your pressure washer part works. And then on the opposite side over here is where we're going to hook the pressure washer to it. So that part does not spin, so that sits like that all the time. So and they provide you a hose that should be long enough. What we're going to do is wrap it around and under to that thing. So we'll grab that now. Okay, so what they give you is a 90 on here because you need to actually adapt a male fitting to a male fitting. So that's going to go like that, and then this is going to go like this, and we'll just position this however it needs to be so that we can run it around and under the other side. And then we're going to be using another one of these on the opposite side, possibly, to get the hose in, but we will see when we get to that. So I'm going to get some Teflon tape so we can tape these up and get this so it doesn't leak. So instead, I'm going to be using Loctite 567 thread sealer on it. I'm almost out of this. This is a very old tube, but it still works. All right, I'll go ahead and stop right there. Okay, so now we have our hose. So these should swivel on the hose, they do. So the hose won't be sitting there twisting around on you while you're going. These are basically a hydraulic fitting. That's what that is. Make sure that both sides swivel before they do not. So this one appears to be more of a, yeah, this one's a permanent one. So we're gonna start with this one up here, and we'll leave the swiveling one for our final connection. So another thing, a thread sealer on there. When you're using this stuff, make sure it's always on that leading edge, the very first thread on there. Make sure that that's the most important one to get that thread sealer on. You don't want it in there, obviously. So what I think I'm going to come up through here and in. I actually want to turn that just a little bit more. Okay, so this one, the hose is going to be whipping around on. That's convenient though. Now, we'll put this guy under the pump there. This is what I hate about all these hydraulic hoses, is they like to sit like that. Okay, now one thing we need to watch for is to make sure that this hose doesn't hit the engine block or the exhaust manifold on that opposite side. So they do give you a clamp, a couple clamps, so that we can clamp this hose up so that we can keep it out of harm's way. So this is the output of the pump. So that's where you normally would hook your pressured hose to. That's your garden hose input. So this needs to go on that guy there. So we have to figure out a way of adapting that. It looks like the output is male, so we should be in pretty good shape with the provided fittings that they gave us. And hopefully, this guy will come off of there fairly easy. Oop, of course it came off in there, so I need to hold this inner one. Actually, that's what I did. Okay, so for this clamp, I think I'm going to just put it on that hand nut there. Okay, so now for this guy, you have two ends of this hose. One has a really long red protector and one has just the normal length one. This normal length one, I believe, would probably be on your hose or on your gun. And then this longer one's going to be to protect it from going around the first loop of that, of this guy. So what we'll do is we'll get this on there. And of course, I don't believe that one spins. So this one will be a little bit of a challenge. So this just goes through like that. And then what's going to be easier is if we put this way down here, get a bunch of this through like that, and then we can get it on there, and then we'll pull it tighter like that. So I'm gonna have to make this real straight because as we tighten this on there, it is going to twirl, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. The other thing we could do, if we really wanted to, is just thread it straight into there and then try to feed the hose through this hole. But I think in the end this is going to be easier. Okay, so the last fitting, you could reuse the one that you took off down there and put it there conveniently. I'm going to replace mine because this one is getting just a little rusty and stuff, and I had one. So I'm going to go ahead and change mine out right now. Okay, there we go. Ow. Okay. Perfect. That's nice. It actually keeps that. It's been a problem with this thing. That was a just an added bonus. A problem with this pressure washer is the way the holder works. It cams in there like that, which is really cool, except for any weight on this at all, and it just is bouncing and it falls out and everything else. But if I have that cord going where it's pulling this up, it's really in there. So, okay, so say we want to use the machine now. Unlock. It'll allow us to get that out of there. And then that is convenient. And we use it, say we're done with it. I like to take this off because I don't like dragging it through the dirt. I'll put that guy in there. Let's see. That. Now. Oops. Okay. Woo! Pretty cool.